إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم عبده ورسوله. All praise due to Allah, we seek His help and we seek His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evils of our souls and from our bad deeds. Whomever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whomever Allah leaves astray, no one can guide. And I bear witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His messenger. ثم أما بعد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ادعوني أستجب لكم. Ask me and I will answer. But have we realized or have we noticed that we've been praying and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to fix a lot of things within ourselves, within the community that we live in, within the society that we live in, but a lot of those prayers were not answered? Have we noticed that a lot of times when we're making sujood, we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for certain things. Some things we've been asking Him for so long. So many times we repeat it with every single prayer that we pray. But yet, those prayers are not answered. Now we know when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something, then it's true. Then there's no question about it that it's going to happen. And we know in many verses of the Quran that are similar to the one where He said, فَادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ. Ask me and I will answer. So how come our prayers haven't been answered? We know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that He will answer them. And that could be for a few reasons. Either A, we're not doing it the right way, or there's something hidden behind it. Now, when we look at the first reason why our prayers are not being answered, we'll look at the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ was talking about, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is good and likes everything good. And then at the end of the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ describes a man. He said, يُطِيلُ السَّفَرِ, a person that's traveling long distances. أَشْعَثَ أَغْبَرَ, so he has that humbleness in himself. He's not really showing off, he's not dressing up just to impress, he's not wasting a lot of his money, but actually he's withholding a lot of that money. Could be for the reasons why he want to show his humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then he said, يَمُدُّ يَدَيْهِ إِلَى السَّمَاءِ يَا رَبْ يَا رَبْ. And then he has his hands up. He's holding his hands up, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's asking, oh Lord, oh Lord. And we know, on the first part, the guy is traveling long journeys. And the Prophet ﷺ said that, the person that travels, he's always in traveling, that's one of the people that, their prayers are being answered. So this guy, when you first look at what he's doing, you think, man, his prayers must be answered. He's always traveling, he's modest in his dress code, and he's always asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then the Prophet ﷺ continues describing the things that we don't see. Because what we see is that the guy is traveling a lot, he's humble, and he's always asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he said, وَمَطْعَمُهُ حَرَامٌ. And what he eats, where he gives his sustenance, is haram. وَمَشْرَبُهُ حَرَامٌ. And everything he drinks comes from haram. وَمَلْبَسُهُ حَرَامٌ. And he clothes himself and his family with money that came from haram. وَغُذِّيَ بِالْحَرَامِ. And he's nurtured with haram. فَأَنَّا يُسْتَجَابُ لَهُ. How do you expect his prayers to be answered?